Hey there everyone, Foxy Fern here, and welcome back to our Animating a Jump in Maya. Sorry for the slight delay there. I decided to go on a bike ride today and then just got finished eating my lunch, so we're ready to go and see how this jump animation turns out today. Hopefully I'll get done with this, depending on how things go. If not, I think we'll get this done in 2 streams or less. So, about right on schedule with how long I was anticipating this to go. Hello, Tom! Welcome to the stream! Glad to see you again. Alright, so let's get a refresher of what this is looking like. So, I believe where we left off last time, I was wanting to tackle a bit of work on the arms, and then once we get those looking good, we'll take care of her landing here a bit. Let's see, I'm going to pull up my video reference. Open it with QuickTime so that we can actually frame by frame it. I really hate QuickTime, honestly. It's so laggy and broken, and I mean, it's not updated anymore, but I can't frame by frame with VLC. Also, why can I not see QuickTime on my open with code, share with Skype? No, let me open with QuickTime. There we go. Technology. It's not my strong point. Also, please excuse my sniffly nose. My food was just a smidge spicy, so. Oh, right. Let's give ourselves a reminder here. We're using mostly the guy in green as a reference. But, you know, it's never a bad idea to take ideas from other ones as well. They are kind of jumping pretty similarly, honestly. I think the guy in green has some better posing, though. Okay, so we want our arms to come up as she's taking off. And then they'll come forward as we have in the pose. And swing out behind her as she comes in for the landing. Okie dokie. Now, this is the potentially annoying part where we get into dealing with gimbal lock issues. Hooray! So what I tend to do with gimbal lock is either if a rig has like the ability to bake down animation between, wow, I just realized I need to double check and make sure. Can you guys hear me? Yeah, okay. I was like, is my microphone turned off? Anyway, as I was saying, I do like to bake back and forth between IK and FK on things like arms, just to make sure that you can like fix all the gimbal lock stuff that's going on. This rig doesn't seem to have that feature built into it, so if that's something that I need to do, we're just gonna have to do it manually with some constraints, but that'll be like a very final last detail polish, because it's like anytime you make an adjustment, then you're gonna have to redo that, so I'm gonna wait to do that till the very end. But we can just put some animation trails on her arms here. Visualize. If I were smart, whoops, we don't need, thank you, task manager. If I were smart, I would make some buttons for myself so I didn't have to go into the menu like that, but I'm not that smart. So yeah, you can see right now her arms aren't doing like the nicest curves because we're going to want her hands to like swoop down to her back. And right now they're just kind of going out to the side since the rig is just letting gimbal take care of that. Less talking, more animating. Unfortunately, gimbal luck is an animator's worst enemy, and there aren't a lot of good ways around it. If you're working in Motion Builder, the interpolation is quaternium, so you don't have gimbal lock issues, but Maya, unfortunately, is prehistoric. Archaic, that's the word I was trying to think of. So, it does not solve in quaternium. Alright, I think we're gonna want her arms to go behind her a little sooner than we have them there now. Let's take a look at our video reference again here. Yeah, this is like he reaches his peak about here where his arms are out in front of him, and then they swing behind before he lands. So we'll watch this in real time here. Yeah, so not like too much earlier, but just a smidge. Sometimes I like to animate in orthographic views just so I can say, hey, if you grab this yellow circle on the outside of your manipulator, it's basically going to rotate all of your controls according to your camera view. And if you're in perspective mode, you're not always like sure which way that's going. See how it like kind of made her arms go out to the side? But if all I want to do is make her arms like rotate up higher than where they are, then I can go into the right view here and it's going to figure out that calculation for me. Since they're not going to be on one axis there. Same with front view. You can see how that manipulates your controllers versus if you grab one of the axes. Her arms are a little more symmetrical than I'd like them to be right now too, but we'll fix that later. Just trying to get the basic motion in right now. And I think before we have them going out behind her, we'll want her elbows to bend a little bit. Give it some nice overlapping motion there. Alright, well I think that's good enough for now. Her arms are doing the basic motion that I want them to do, which means I'm going to want to move into this landing here and actually give it some more weight, make these poses a little stronger because she's got kind of just a weak sauce landing right here. Also, at some point in the end here, we're going to come into the hair and animate the hair a little bit. Unfortunately, this rig being a free rig, which is great that it's free, also means that it's not the highest quality. So you can see here, the hair is like kind of weird. And the skinning is questionable on this. See, yeah, so it's not gonna be super great. Maybe I'll go in and change the skinning myself. I don't know. I don't know if I want to bother with that. For my thumbnail for this stream, I actually did a render of her pose, like right here, but you can see her leg is all borked up there, so I just sort of painted that out a little bit. I also could have given her more of a knee in my Photoshop image, but I got lazy. Alright, in any case, let's get some work done on this landing pose. Alright, I think she needs to dip down a little bit faster here. Excuse me. Got a frog in my throat today. I think she could actually land a little bit more forward and a little bit higher up than she is. Whoops. Oh god. Spinning wheel of death because I have my motion trail turned on here. Okay, good enough. This is always a bit trickier when you have to match that in pose into your run cycle for your game or whatever you're doing, because, you know, like, as an animator, I'd want to sit here and actually finesse it so that she just has this beautiful landing, but when you're trying to make stuff that works for a game, you gotta match up these poses. She actually seems like maybe I have her a little too far forward on her starting pose, huh? Is that what I did? Yeah, I guess so. Well, I'm gonna cheat, guys. don't try this at home. I'm changing our starting pose. To be fair, I didn't actually create a run animation for this character. And if I were animating in an actual game right now, I would have gotten this passing pose solidified before getting into the jumping animation. So gonna have to fix all this now though. Alright, good enough. And then she needs to match up over here, so we'll just do our classic plus equals, was it 5 that we were doing? Yes, 5. There we go. That's better. Man, yeah, I might make her land her first foot a little bit back more, because this is like really weird that she's picking up her foot like this. So let's scooch her back just a smidge, which means I probably need to grab this foot too. Come on. Oh no, what's happening? Why is it so laggy? Ooh. Let's try that out. I think that'll work. Obviously the foot still needs some work, but part of what the issue is now is that she's switching between IK and FK, and I won't actually have her foot come off the ground that early either. She needs to keep her foot planted until her weight is more on her front foot, but I think that'll work as far as like where she's landing and that sort of thing. Let's double check our curve here. I think it seems to be pretty good. We might be able to just tweak this a smidge. Oh god, it's so hard. I don't want to delete my motion trail, but it's really annoying that it does this here. I think her highest point should be here, and maybe a little bit higher than we have it. She should also maybe be a little bit more forward when she takes off. Yay, allergies. No, I swear I don't have COVID. Oh no, I said the word that's gonna get me banned. I said it. Let's hope that's not the case. I don't think I'm big enough to get banned yet. Nobody YouTube doesn't know that I exist yet. I'm not on their radar. I still have time to say all the bad things. Alright, so for starters, this foot is driving me crazy. So we're going to make sure that it doesn't come off the ground before it should. Whoops. Should grab rotation too. Let's see, how many frames should we need? 1, 2, 3. I could also add a few frames if I need to. We're not really solidified in a time here. That will also depend on the game that you're working on, like how much time you would have for this. The way that things work with the game I'm working on now is it has to feel good to the player. And you don't want it to feel sluggish. And then, like I said in the last stream, you have to keep in mind that your animation might need to be interruptible before it finishes playing. So just, you know, making sure that they're not terribly far from the frame that it's going to match it to. I think maybe we'll just add one more frame here. Oh god. What did I do? It's the motion trails that are the problem. Oh no. Come on. Maybe one more. That way we can put some nice overlapping motion on the arms to get into this pose too. I think that's pretty good there. And now this guy can probably delay one more frame before picking up off the ground. But we do want her foot flat on the ground. Oh, weird. For a few frames until she picks that foot back up. My god, the sound from this music right now, there's like that little whistling sound, and I swear every time I breathe out, I think that for some reason I have a whistling breath, but it's actually in the music. I was like, oh, my nose. This is kind of a point where I would probably just animate this like frame by frame, because there's only a few frames here and it's so finicky that I might just see if I can pull this off manually. turn off my controllers because they're distracting. I think that's actually a little too much of a pop pulling this off the ground. So I think we are gonna have her foot come up a little earlier, but that means we need to make sure her weight is properly centered over this foot here. Ah! My god. Alright, we're just gonna get rid of this motion trail for now because it's slowing me down. Honestly, she should probably come up a little quicker here. Whoops, not that quick. I really need a 4K monitor, guys. It's so much stuff I have to fit on this one monitor here so that you all can see it. And I should be saving my file because we've gone already almost 30 minutes without me saving my file. And that's how, my friends, you have regrets, is when you don't save your file and then your Maya crashes. All right, let's check and see how that's looking from the front. All right, we gotta work on her sideways motion, don't we? Let's do that. Oh, look at that foot pop in there. Okay, gotta take care of that too. So let's see, she's gonna have her weight over her left foot and then her right foot, and then she comes up to here. All right, this is probably moving faster than it needs to. And probably before she picks up her foot, like so, she should actually have her weight a little more to her right than she does. Maybe not that much. Yeah, we're gonna have our work cut out for us with fixing all these foot poppins that we're getting from the IKFK stuff. Oh well, what can you do? Oops. Alright, that's looking better at least. Now the other thing we want to do here is have her right foot plant a little faster than it is. So let's just go ahead and have this IK control turn on. Let's see, so it generally in animation, if you can do this, it's best to not have like 2 hands or 2 feet or whatever hit a surface at the exact same time. Even if like in your video reference it looks like a person's feet are touching the ground on the same frame, when you do stuff like that, it looks a lot less interesting. And for some reason, even though that's how it works in reality, like if somebody watches an animation do that, it comes into this uncanny valley situation. So you always want to try to like offset things a little bit if you can, just for the purpose of visual appeal, even if it's not quite accurate. So her foot plant's here, and then maybe we want 2-3 frames later. Oh, that's like right where I had it, wasn't it? 1, 2, 3. Maybe 2. We should probably do 2 here. Then we'll just pull these cues back. But we'll want to give her foot a little nicer of an arc than that. And you know, honestly, we could do... We'll save a key on this one, but here we could do like a... like she's trying to soften her landing a little by sort of landing on her toe like she did with the other foot. Again, we're gonna have to fix the inevitable popping that's gonna be as a result of this IKFK stuff, but we'll worry about that at a later time. She does also look a little off balance here. Maybe she should be landing a little bit more forward than this. We do want to make sure that her Z translation is pretty constant throughout the air. It doesn't have to be perfect because, you know, there is like a matter of wind resistance and that type of thing that will slightly slow down a character, but it should be fairly constant, and it looks pretty good here. It's like not perfectly linear, but it's close enough, I think. I think I know what the issue is here. We need her kind of like bending over into this pose here. I'm being a terrible person and not using my I hotkey like I taught you all in my other video. This is how old habits die hard, guys. Because I didn't know about that hotkey for the longest time. Like I said, 5 things I wish I knew before using the graph editor. Alright, so we'll want her center of gravity to rotate up faster than the rest of her body because we'll put some overlapping motion on her chest area. Ah! Look at that. I tried to use my special hotkey and then I accidentally hit spacebar. Rip. In fact, we might put in a little bit of overshoot here. Ah, actually, I don't like that. And now because we rotated her forward a little bit, her center of gravity is also forward, which means we can pull her hips back just a smidge. Whoops. Again, I've messed it up again. There's this cool thing I've been learning from the animation Sherpa course by Richard Lico. That is this like script you can make that will allow you to have a visual representation of where your center of gravity is on your character based on their chest, their arms, their legs, and everything. And then you can also use that to alter your animation. But I am not quite there yet on learning how to script that for any rig, so that's something I'll have to use at a later time. I know it looks ridiculous that I'm being this picky about where she is at, but that's animation for you. You're just like always picky. And I want these curves to look nice. Ah, see, I don't like her that far forward though, in that spot. So anybody in the stream got any animation projects they're working on right now? Just in general. Not necessarily right this second, but be curious to know what you all are working on. Okay. Okay. 2, 3. Yeah, obviously, foot sliding a little bit. We'll have to take care of that, but it's coming along, at least, I think. Yeah. All right. Of course, from the side view, we can't see all the lake popping. Tom says, I'm working on a small medieval-style town. Ooh, that's cool. Are you, like, is this just art that you're making, or are you, like, modeling a town for a game, or... I really like medieval stuff, though. Or are you, like, populating it with a bunch of little animated people? Tyler says, I'm working my first 3D animation, trying to get it done in time for the end of the semester. All right, cool. So, like, what is it that you're doing? Is it like an exercise, like a walk or a jump or a climb, or is it like you get to do a dialogue piece or some type of storytelling? Are you in animation school, or are you just taking an animation course in school? It's getting a little warm in here. Gotta take off my shirt. Please don't ban me, YouTube. I should stop talking like that, or else they're gonna catch on to me. All right, we're at the point now here where I might actually just convert all of this animation on the legs to FK, since I think the ending here, we've still got some work to do with her arms and her torso, but I think her legs are mostly where I want them to be. And if I can just convert everything to FK, that way I can get rid of all the popping and stuff. I've got Steve trying to pull a sword out of a stone. Nice. Nice. That's a good exercise, doing something like that, because that's a lot of work to really portray a character pulling on a weight like that. So, and it's cool that you're doing something that has like a little bit of interest to it, rather than just like a person trying to push a box or something. Not that there's anything wrong with that as an exercise, but as far as visual interest, that could be really fun to do. This project is technically my thesis. I'm graduating college with a major in digital art and design. All right, cool. I might animate some people, animals once it's finished, but I'm working on the water features lighting at the moment. That's cool, Tom. I'd love to see. I'd like to see both of your guys' stuff when you're done with it, or before you're done with it, if you want to share. Stuart, is Stuart a free rig? Is that why there's a name? And I'm a terrible person for. I feel like I have heard of a character rig named Stuart, but I can't think of what that is off the top of my head. Thanks, Maya. Just zooms right into her butt. I think I might have her squash down just a little bit more in this anticipation frame before I alter her legs to FK. He's free from Animation Mentor. Ah, okay, okay, cool. I know which one you're talking about now. Are you also doing Animation Mentor then? Or is that one of the characters that's just free for anyone? I guess I just answered my own question because you said he was free, so. He's the basic orange guy. You probably know if it's... Yeah, okay. They like orange, don't they? The squirrel I was animating was orange too. And so is this character. Orange equals free. Orange is a good color though. I like it. I want her to really feel like she's moving up and forward and not just forward. So I want her to kind of be more down and forward than down and back in this anticipation pose. So that's what I'm trying to do right here. Also realizing that maybe... Oh, I was having issues with this foot, wasn't I? It, like, wasn't deforming the way that I'd want it to. Oh my gosh, my nose. Okay, I think it's time to figure out how we're going to... Oh god, how are we going to do this? To bake this down into FK. As we discovered, the FK IK switching doesn't really work super great. Let's, for starters, let's turn this on. Let's see. I want FK to IK. Yes. Cool. So that looks all right there. The other leg was already in FK. Yeah. All right. So those locators are lining up, which is good. How about this other leg? I guess it's only when she goes into her landing that we care about. All right, that looks like it's also lining up. So fingers crossed that this will work for us. So we'll just turn that off. And... Oh my gosh. Turn that off. Oh, did we... Wait, what happened here? Oh, right. Have to turn it off in the beginning, too. Ah. So, let's see if we can make this work properly. I might just have to... I know I was having issues with this, doing the flippy flip last time. Did I give myself hotkeys for constraining? I don't remember. Constrain. I don't think I did. Alright, orients. You know what we could do? We could maintain the offset because I think... Oh, no. It doesn't line up there. Never mind. Rip. Arg! Why does this have to be the way that it is? Yeah, that's, you know, she's just really flexible. No big deal. People can do that, right? Let's see. So, that was the X. I can't remember if this worked. I feel like we still ran into problems, didn't we? Well, it worked for now anyway. Oh dear. And then you. Constraint there. Oops, except I don't want the... I don't think I want the offset for this one. Ah! I guess I do. This is really annoying. I wish I was a better technical artist and then I could just like go in and fix this rig. How about you? Do you want the offset on? Nope. And how about you? Ta-da! Alright, well let's just bake down a few keys here and then we'll fix this. So I think this was to frame 3 that she was in IK before. So we'll just edit keys, bake. We'll do... I'm too lazy to change my time slider, so we'll just do 1 to 3. And that should be good. And now we can go delete these constraints. If I can find them. And, right, that's what we have, right? Yes, cool. Oh no. Guys, what happened to our animation? That's fun. Crap. Oh my god. Alright. What do we do about this? I think I know what happened is that when you bake a range, I've had this problem before, like when I bake down information from a constraint, anything outside of where you bake it, it just blows all the keys away. Is that what happened? Let's find out. I'm just gonna bake this one. Keys bake. Make sure it wasn't a setting that I messed up. Time range, start, end. Baked layers, keep. Smart bake, no. Keep unbaked keys, yes. Huh. I mean, that should work. What? Oh. Ah, but yeah, see? It removed all the other keys. I've had this issue before, and I don't remember if it's a bug or if there's actually a fix for this, but I guess one way around it right now. Oh, we lost our constraints on these guys too, didn't we? Or just on the toe, I guess. I undid past that. Constrain, orient, apply. So I think maybe what I can get away with here is just manually saving the keys on each frame and then delete the constraints. This is really annoying, and it's like a backwards way of doing it that I shouldn't have to do, but that will allow us to keep our animation Since we're not doing this for very many frames, it's okay. Oh god, now what? Oh, right, okay, so... Can I just get away with... Oops, what did I do? Can I just get away with Euler filter? Yes. Sweet. Hooray! It worked. Oh, right, we gotta do the end still. Haha. Oh my. Okay, let's see. We're gonna go from the last frame here, so frame 28. And, oh, what did you do? Oh, right, okay. Okay. This is really annoying. I hope we don't have to do this again. Let's see. Oh no. What? Where did my... Oh, yeah, that's right. This is her right foot. Okay, that's fine, that's fine. Yeah, alright. It's messed up because we didn't animate her IK control while she was jumping through the air. It's really weird that she's like sinking into the ground like that. Ah. Well, in any case, let's fix her other leg, shall we? Oh, where'd her... Did it get turned off? Yes. This is also a weird thing that it's like show and hide these things. Oh my god, where'd it go? Where is it? I don't... is that it? No, that's for her other leg. Well, I see the blue. Oh, 'cause that's why. Oh my gosh, this is so weird. I guess it's so that you don't have them both showing at the same time or something. I don't know. Does this one need an offset too? Probably. No! I guess it doesn't. Why? Why, Rig? Why you do this to me? That doesn't seem right. Oh, cause yep, I'm not doing this early enough. That's why. Did I already constrain that? No. Oh, where'd the toe one go? Do I not get a toe? Oh no, what happened here? Oh god, what's... I don't know what's going on, guys. Oh no. What did I do? Oh no. Awkward. I really hope I don't have to do this again. Okay. Okay. There. That seems to be the right spot, so... So we'll check this here. Yes. Fantastic. Seems really annoying that I have to do this here, but it is what it is. Okay. I think that's the first frame I wanted it to be IK. So now I can go back and delete these guys. Phew! Better save that progress, man. Let's make sure it's still looking okay. Yep, looks about like it did before. Except, so now we can go in and fix the popping that's happening here. Oh, weird. This isn't... I thought her left leg was popping before her landing, but I guess it's not anymore? Oh, why are you... Oh, right. Okay, that makes sense, Yep, okay, that all looks fine. Her foot's a little squishy, but, you know, we can... I don't know why that's happening. It's like the constraints weren't quite aligning quite properly with the IK, but we can just like switch it back to IK later and fix that. This guy. So she goes forward. Ooh, yeah, I don't like that pose. And then we'll just delete that key. That's a little better. Dissatisfied says, just showed up. What's happening? Not much. Dissatisfied. Hopefully you won't be dissatisfied with this stream. But we're just working on this jump animation that got started on last week, and here's the progress so far. I'm just trying to fix this like popping that's happening with her legs because of the IKFK switching. So this rig isn't super friendly for dealing with that stuff, unfortunately. But I think we're gonna make do. Let's make sure that when she's coming off the ground, everything looks good there. Yes, except I want her foot to be rotated backwards during this kickoff pose. Oh my god, if I can actually select the controller, that would help. Oh, that's probably because I didn't have a key on those FK controls till much later before I did that constraint. God, it really is annoying that the constraints didn't fix that. Everything's so squishy, so I guess we're gonna have to do another final touch at the end to make her feet planted better than they are right now, but I'm gonna worry about that later. So this guy can be a little better here. Maybe it's this control that I want to modify. Alright, I see now the purpose of this match thing being able to hide, because I don't want to see that anymore. Let's have her foot do a little bit of a drag as she's coming off the ground here. Oh, what? That's so weird. I'm only just now noticing that X is the forward rotation on this. Ugh. I am so used to that being Z. Is that the case? Oh my god, but it's Y on her elbows? I mean, the least you can do is make the elbow and the knee joints rotate in the same direction. Come on. Come on. Alright, I think I'm gonna add a little bit of delay on her foot coming forward here. Also, what's up with this? Why is it? Oh, hello. Oh right, I forgot this is her knee. Let's actually have it stick out a little bit there. Oh. Eh. my god. Have her reach with her foot a little bit before she lands. Let's refer to our video reference again here. So that left leg he does just kind of keep out in front of him like that. And then the right leg, I'm going to delay it a little bit more than the actual jump just for some visual appeal. But I do want to make sure that the spacing still looks pretty good. Let's actually straighten her leg out a little bit here. This process is so neat to watch. Really makes you appreciate just how much work goes into big projects. Yeah, it really, I'm glad that you appreciate that, because it definitely is one of those things where you wouldn't believe the number of times that I have people message me on like Facebook or Reddit or wherever, and they are like, hey, I want to have a music video done. It's 3 minutes long and it's just a character dancing for 3 minutes. Like, you know, can you do that for me? And I'll be like, yeah, that'll probably be minimum of $4,000. And they're like, what? Like, dude, 3 minutes of animation. That's, and like dancing especially is like a very physical thing that you have to work on. And if it's not mocap, that's really time consuming. So like, for instance, this animation here that I'm doing is 1 second long. And how long is this taking me? Sure, I'm a little slower because I'm talking to you guys while I'm doing this, but imagine this times, you know, 180. And that's how long a 3-minute music video is. It's really fun, don't get me wrong, but you definitely have to have the right kind of brain chemistry to subject yourself to this sort of slow, grueling torture. But I'm a masochist, so it works out for me. Alright, I'm feeling like this is kind of okay. Like, her legs are looking alright. They're sort of coming together, so I'm pleased with that. I sort of like how she kind of compresses here as her right leg comes up before it starts to stretch out again, so I might push that a little more, but for now, let's just grab this here. Make her leg crunched up just a little bit longer. Actually, now that I'm looking at it, it does seem like her leg needs to come forward a little bit sooner, her right leg. I don't know. You know, she's kind of like a extreme anime style character that's really long and lanky, so you know, the more cartoony your character looks, the more forgiving I think people are when they watch your animation in like how realistic it is. You know, if I had this super photorealistic looking character and they did like pretty much anything cartoony at all, it would be really jarring, right? So it just kind of depends on what the world is that you're working in. Alright, so I think the legs are looking pretty good aside from the final planting we're gonna have to do with her feet in IK. Which brings us to doing some more work on her arms and her upper body here. I think I'll make sure that her torso is doing what I want it to do for starters. Let's take a look at our video reference again here. He really kind of leans forward. Well, actually, no, that guy doesn't. I mean, I guess he's kind of leaning forward as his arms are out in front of him. And then they pull his torso back when they swing back around him. This other guy is leaning a lot more forward. Look at that. This guy in the white shirt in the front. Wow, he really crouches up there. Oh, this guy is making me second guess which person I chose for my video reference. I liked the guy in green as far as like his takeoff pose and in the air, but I really like how much this guy in the white crunches up, so who's to say I can't take ideas from both of them? That is the joy of animation, guys. Wow. And like, for instance, it seems like he kind of kicks his right leg forward and then back to his rear again, and so like I probably won't do that because I think that could look kind of weird in animation. It's gonna look a little bit jittery because actually, yeah, if you watch this on full speed, it looks kind of funny that he sort of does this like double kick on his butt, so I don't want to do that, but I do like how much he bends up as his arms are coming forward, so maybe I'll incorporate that a little bit. Oops. Alright, so now this is when the character... Why does that make her head move? Or, I mean, her hair. Oh, because her hair is like in world space or something. Oh, her head is in world space. That's what's going on here. I don't think I'm gonna make her crunch up quite as much as that guy does. Because I think I'd have to change her legs quite a bit to make that look good too. But we'll just do a little bit of it. Uh-oh. Oh. Whew. Thought my Maya was about to crash, which is a good reminder for me to save. But that's because I had a motion trail on her arm. Speaking of which, this doesn't look very good at the beginning here, does it? So let's fix that. Oof. Okay. It's like extra not good here. Oh, come on. Let's see. Oh yeah, her arm is way too much out to the side there. I think that should be better. Yeah! Woo! Yeah! Oops. Let's go left here. You know, I might want to change this motion trail to always draw. Yeah, alright. I'm just gonna make a new one here. So this isn't great here in the beginning. I'm not a fan of her having this like jagged curve there, but it is like her anticipation pose. So I think that works a little better. I don't like these wonky curves here, but sometimes you just gotta deal with that when it comes to gimbal lock. But let's see if we can make this look a little better when she swings her arms behind herself. So what happens if I just Get rid of those keys. Oh god. That's right. I remember why I did that now. So basically the problem is I just want her arms to be more at her sides than they are. Oh my god. Why is this rig the way that it is? This is... I can't work with this, guys! What is this crap? There was like a gimbal control on this or something, wasn't there? Yeah. Now, I really don't want to do this because... I don't like animating the same joint with two different controls. That's a recipe for disaster, but the way this rig is set up, I'm not really sure I have a choice, guys. So I'm probably gonna regret this later, but make sure we save our keys at the beginning and end. Let's see. So maybe we will just delete this here. And I think I wanted her arms to get to this point a little bit sooner. Oh, sorry guys, I haven't been reading chat. Hello Diego, welcome to the stream, glad you could join. Dissatisfied says, got to go, thanks for sharing your work. Do you normally stream on Saturday evening? Ah, sorry, I hope I didn't miss you. I don't know when you wrote that, but there isn't really a normal yet, but that is what I'm aiming for. This is only my second stream. Last weekend I did mean to stream on Saturday, but ended up Sunday because YouTube made me wait 24 hours after trying to stream. So I'm open to either Saturdays or Sundays, whatever like people are more interested in for themselves. So yeah, let me know whether you guys like Saturdays or Sundays better, if you'd like to attend more streams in the future, and I can do either. Anyway, thanks for hanging out, Dissatisfied. Hope to see you next time. I'm also open to other times of the day. I could do earlier, I could do later. I'm on the West Coast, so right now it's what is it? It's 4 o'clock for me. So yeah, I'm pretty flexible on the weekends anyway. Unfortunately, can't really be flexible on the weekdays, but all right, let's see if we can make this fixed with the gimbal control. Oh my god, this hurts my soul, guys. I don't like it. Also, why did it not update my... Why is it not updating my motion trail? That's weird. Oh no. Yeah, this could be a problem that it's not showing me my proper motion trail now. Oh my gosh, why is this so broken? Oh, thank goodness it updated. I just had to animate the control that it was parented to. So it does look better, but there's still this weird little icky curve right here that we'll have to massage a bit. Let's make sure that I'm okay with this timing first. Alright, let's turn off this motion trail. Where are you? Yeah, why am I so blind? Motion trails. Okay. So I do think her arm is coming back soon enough. I just need to now make her elbow straighten out a little bit quicker. It's so hard watching this, making sure it's her right arm that I'm seeing, not her left. Okay, so now before we go much further with this, I want to make this ending a little better here. Tyler asks, would you recommend this rig for learning? It seems mad frustrating to work with. That's a good question. So it's free and it's really easy to work with. Like, you just import it and you're good to go. There's no like shelf buttons or anything that you have to set up. There's not like a huge amount of controls, as you can see, which is actually something I prefer. And it doesn't bog down my Maya file, as you can see. I have not once had to play blast this because it's not lagging my file at all. Whereas when I was using the Amanda rig, I couldn't even play her walk cycle in real time. I had to play blast it every time I wanted to see what it actually looked like. So from that standpoint, it's pretty good. And if you're like just learning animation, I think it's fine. The parts that I'm most frustrated with are things that I've gotten used to having tools for that I don't have tools for on this rig. So yeah, the gimbal lock can be an issue, and then the weird like IKFK matching that doesn't quite exist is also kind of weird. But honestly, I'm not sure I know of any free rigs that are good at that. So since it doesn't cost you a dime, I say it's worth trying out. I would not recommend doing any sort of facial work with this character. I would strictly use her for stuff like this, where you're doing action-oriented things, because when I tried to pose her for my video thumbnail, let me just show you real quick. This is her face rig. It's terrible, and you can't really get good looking shapes. Like in an ideal world for me, I would have, you know, an upper eyelid control for each eye, a lower eyelid control for each eye that controls the entire eyelid, but then also gives me the ability to control like the way that she has the little individual circles. But that way I can like, you know, rotate it to give that, you know, your eyelids don't actually rotate in and out like this in real life, but when you're animating a character, it's an easy way to make a character look angry or sad. And so you can't do any of that with her. And her mouth opens. Oops, that's her chin. But then like, look at this. It's her mouth turns into a rectangle. Blah, blah, blah. She's like a Pez dispenser. And in order to like make her mouth look halfway decent, you have to move these controls around, but their object space isn't very good either. So if you ever wanted to try doing dialogue with this character, it would be a nightmare. But she's good for doing practice, like walk cycles and jumping, climbing, that kind of stuff. Will this video be recorded on the channel? Yes, it will be available to watch, just like my last stream was. I don't know if it shows up for you guys like on my video page. Sometimes you might have to like sort videos by live streams for it to show up. I tried making sure that it would show up for you on the front page, but if it doesn't and you can't find like my last stream from last weekend, please let me know and I'll look into making that a little better. I should also go back and add some like time stamp links to it so that people don't have to watch through the whole 4 hours if they don't want to. I realized I didn't put the link in my video description, or did I? I don't know. But anyway, here you go, Tyler, if you want to just check out the rig. Like I said, it's really easy to download. You just have to like make a login on High-End 3D. And it's pretty quick to get started with using her. The other thing is like her deformations aren't super beautiful either. Like you can see what's going on with her leg here. I don't really care too much for an animation like this because it's really fast, so you can't really tell at high speed. You'd only see it frame by framing. Yeah, sure thing. Sometimes I forget to share the rigs with people. All right, let's see if I can make her follow through on her arm look okay. A little too fast there. In some of my future videos, I might actually use some rigs that aren't free, but they're like cheap-ish. I've seen like this really good-looking one called the Dana rig that's $15, and you know, I realize that can be a lot for some people, especially if they don't have a job currently and they're trying to get better at animation. But I feel like, you know, my video qualities and my animation quality would potentially be a lot better if I had a rig that even costs just a little bit of money. I really like this channel because I see that you know a lot of technical Maya topics. Well, thank you. I guess I've learned a bit over the years, you know, just like anyone. I started out not knowing a darn thing about Maya. When I first went to school, they started us on 2D animation just for like 3 or 4 weeks, and then we went into Maya, and I had opened Maya before, but I didn't really know anything about it. So most of my technical knowledge has just come from years of working at smaller studios where I have to figure out how to do things. I can tell you that constraints are magical. And if you don't know much about constraints, that is maybe something I should consider making a video for you all sometime about. I'm actually, right now, I've been going through this course called Animation Sherpa, and it talks a lot about constraints. If you guys have heard of PolyArc or So Polyarc is the company, and I can't remember off the top of my head what the name of the video game is, but all of the animation of the game was done by a guy named Richard Lico, who used to be an instructor at Animate, and then he's worked on like Bungie and Halo, and so I ran into him at the bagel shop one time a few years back when I was on my way to work one day, and it was really awkward because we had like an email correspondence, but had never actually met face to face, and so we were both extremely awkward and apologized to each other later. But yeah, his work is really amazing, and he uses a very basic level of rigs. Like, he doesn't have this huge hierarchy like you can see here. Like, oh my god, look at how big our hierarchy is. That's so much stuff. Also, I shouldn't have selected all that. And it's very basic, like back and forth, using lots of constraints to make his animations better and faster, and he uses some automation techniques which are really cool too. So I hope to incorporate some of that as time goes on, but of course I can't exactly teach you guys everything I learned from that, because he probably wouldn't like that too much. But, you know, I might even just, like, reach out to him and be like, hey, can I talk about some of this stuff on my channel as long as I mention you, and see what he says. Because it's not like he invented constraints or anything. He just came up with a really cool way to use them. Someday I would actually like to try my hand at doing some 2D stuff. I haven't really done much 2D animation outside of like a bouncing ball and a jumping flour sack, because my drawing skills are not so great. But, you know, it'd probably be good for me. I'd really love to do a 2D animation of my fox avatar that I drew, because I really like it, and I'm proud of that little guy, or little girl, I guess, because her name is Fern. And so I want to animate her, like, running onto the screen and curling up in a little fox ball like they do. But I don't have a 3D model of that character, so I would have to do 2D. Like, I could try to make a 3D character of it, but that would take me a pretty long time, and sometimes your 3D models don't end up as cute as your 2D animals, so it's a shame. Okay. I think maybe she should rotate back just a little bit as she's coming down here. Actually, I think the problem is this torso bit here. I do kind of wish I had animated a run just so that you guys can see how this would blend into a run, and I could demonstrate exactly why it is that I'm making such a short ending to this animation. So that's on me for not thinking this through, but you'll just have to trust me. Unfortunately, I can't show you how it works in a real game because my game that I'm working on is still under NDA. So someday I'll be able to show you guys what I've been working on. But we should have her arm swing forward a little bit more than this. Or a little sooner, rather. It's great that you are making videos of body mechanics since many animators do not pay much importance to it and prefer to go directly into acting. Yeah, I've noticed that. Then later when they are working, they have problems doing walk cycles like me. Oh, well, I'm sorry you find yourself having issues, but hopefully my videos can help you a bit, and maybe I can answer questions if you have any and give you some pointers that would help you out. But you're absolutely right. It is true that a lot of animators kind of seem to skip over the body mechanics thing. And, you know, when you're working in film, you don't frequently have that kind of stuff. Now, there obviously are like action sequences and stuff that happen in a lot of animated films, but it's such a small percentage of time on screen that, you know, they probably throw specific animators at those scenes that do have some more experience with body mechanics. But part of the reason why I wanted to start making these videos is just like looking around on YouTube for my own purposes. I was kind of realizing like there's a lot of animation channels out there. I mean, not like a lot, but there's several different varieties out there. But nobody's really talking about game animation to the extent that I wanted to talk about it. Like, there's some videos, but they're kind of low quality, or the person is very inconsistent with their uploading. And I think animation careers in games right now are underrated because games are really taking off over the last decade, and the more the technology gets better, the more people are going to need animators, even for like indie games. So I think it's an area that people don't really think about. I didn't think about it when I first was going into animation. I wanted to work for Pixar. I wanted to work for DreamWorks. I wanted to be in film. And it wasn't until several years after I started working, ironically, in the advertising agency in the advertising industry, that I realized, like, oh, video games, I can like make characters and stuff for video games now. And so that's when I went back to Animate and learned some more body mechanics, because as you said, I didn't have much practice doing body mechanics before taking the games course. And I can tell you that is the majority of what I do working on video games is body mechanics. So I'm really bad at talking and actually working at the same time. So you guys are probably like wondering, is she just scrubbing the timeline back and forth to make it seem like she's working? And yes, that is exactly what I'm doing. I'm like, what do I do next? What was I doing 5 seconds ago? I do not know. Okay, so for starters, let's check her clavicle, see if her clavicle is doing the motion that I want. Is that her clavicle? Ugh. Why can't I rotate her clavicle? This is just mean, guys. Why can't I rotate it? Why does it have to be translation? That's not very nice. So I probably want her clavicle to be the most forward, like right here. So what I'm gonna do is save this key, since that's her end pose, and we're gonna make it, oops, come forward like so. but her shoulders are gonna arrive before, or her clavicles are gonna arrive before her arms, so bring those keys back a bit there. I also think I should tweak this a bit. Arms are always a tricky one to do when you're trying to match up to another pose and you want it to look good when it blends between the two. Because ideally, if you're just animating like a character settling after a jump, you know, you'd have their torso kind of settle in and be pretty still, like not frozen obviously, but then the arms are gonna kind of like dangle back and forth as they're settling into their position. But when you're trying to match up to a running pose like I'm doing, you don't have that luxury, because if her torso stops moving and her arms keep going, that's gonna look really weird when you get into blending it into the run animation. So you gotta make sure everything sort of stops moving at the same time, which is like counterintuitive to what you learn in animation. But so then there's like this magical way that everything is still moving, but you still want to like have the arm follow through happen a little bit later. So it can be kind of tricky. TNA's canal and Twitch. I assume you're asking if I have a Twitch channel? Sorry, I only learned a tiny bit of Spanish in high school. I have a Twitch channel that exists, but I don't plan on streaming on Twitch anymore. I used to stream occasionally for my gaming channel, but it's really hard to have two different like audiences on Twitch and on YouTube. And since my channel is small, I don't want to split the viewer base right now, and I want it to be like really tied to the same place. So I don't foresee myself streaming on Twitch anytime soon. I'll never say never, but the other thing is like discoverability on Twitch is really hard. So I'm like struggling enough as it is trying to get discovered on my YouTube channel, and I don't want to deal with that on two channels at the same time. Oh, you had to use the translator? Well, I think I understand. That's what you're asking me though, right? If I have a Twitch channel? Okay. I wish I could turn off the right arm so I could see just the left arm right now. Shoot, this is looking really stiff, isn't it? Yeah. Also, her arms are rotating out weird. Let's fix that, shall we? Maybe. Or is my gimbal gonna give me problems? I think the answer is yes, it is going to give me problems. So one trick I like to do sometimes, if I'm struggling like I am right now with it being a little too aggressive and it's like overlap and how quickly it's coming back, is if I want it to slow down a bit before the last key, what I like to do here is, here's the key where it's in its final pose. So I'll take this key, the one right before it, and I'll middle mouse click, which is essentially copying the frame, and go back one key and then hit Shift E, and that way it will slow into its pose a little bit more. But then I probably want to move this guy a little. There's like a helicopter outside right now. It's been flying around for a little bit. Hopefully it's not picking up on the microphone. It's probably because today is May 1st and there's likely a May Day protest happening downtown Seattle, and that is essentially where I live. Not quite downtown, but it's like a 10-minute walk to Pike Place Market, so. You know, I might just grab all of these keys and we'll just push them out one more frame. Just one more frame, guys. Famous last words, right? Oh, but I can't seem to not grab 2 frames. Oh, but see, now I've messed up my foot. Boo. Well, how about if we, let's see if we can have those stay there. Ah, that's better. Cool. Actually, that one frame did make a pretty big difference in my opinion. What are we gonna do with his arm? That's a little better, I guess. Let's get some drag on this wrist here. At some point we gotta bring her hands out of that fist too while she's jumping in the air till the very end. But I don't want to touch her fingers because, oh yeah, that was the other thing, Tyler, I forgot about this rig, is the finger controls are really annoying. So again, if you're strictly working on like body mechanics stuff like this, it's not too bad. And I'm not going to do too much with her hands. I'm really pretty much just going to have like 2 poses, closed fist and open fist, and maybe like offset the fingers a little bit. But what's really annoying about this character is that the hands, let's see. I'm a big fan of I like to have individual control. So I like fingers that have the little NURBS circles around each of the joints, and I like to be able to, you know, control them all individually. When I was earlier on in my career, I did like stuff like this a little more. I was a big fan of set-driven keys because I found it annoying to have to like go in here and like click on the circles if you're like trying to get this here and you're like, I can't see the circle and they're all close together, so it's hard to select the one that you want. I didn't like that when I was earlier on in my career, but now my solution for that is just to make a shelf button that selects all those controls. And then, like, I don't know, I guess I just deal with it with the individual fingers. But this is all set-driven controls where I have to control the fingers completely from this. And I don't like that. Wow, I totally just made her flip off the camera, and that was completely unintentional. Whoops. I don't like that because I like seeing the actual values of what the rotation is on the joints. And by having the set-driven control is like, these numbers are arbitrary to me. What is 7.5 and 12.5 and 9.7? That means nothing to me because I don't have an actual representation of what that joint is doing. So my personal preference is if a rig really wants to have these things here, that's fine. Some people that I've worked with really like to have the set-driven keys that will give them a really fast fist or something like that. I never think it actually looks good and you would need to tweak it anyway. But to not even have the option to control the joints individually is something I don't like personally. Diego says, this shot was animated with some reference or everything is from the mind? Definitely used a reference. Let me pull that up for you here. So I like to go to Getty Images and YouTube for finding video reference for my shots. Definitely when I'm doing body mechanics stuff, I pretty much always use reference for anything, honestly, because you're always going to get the little nuances that you don't think about if you're animating from your mind. So I mostly took it from the guy in the green t-shirt here because I really liked his pose, like his takeoff pose here, and then when he's up in the air like this with the one leg forward and the one leg back and his arms out in front of him. I really like that. And I've kind of modified the landing pose since my goal is to match up what would be a run pose in a video game. Like if this character had a run cycle, chances are they're going to be going into a long jump like this from a run animation. And so that's why I have it matched up at the beginning and the end as though she's mid-run stride. But I did also like how the guy in the white t-shirt really kind of crouched over and compressed here up in the air. So I did a little bit of that with her torso, not a huge amount, but definitely mostly the guy in the green who I took this reference from. Tom says, yeah, I'm in the same boat on that. It seems odd there aren't controllers. Yeah, and again, it's just one of those things where this is like a free rig that somebody made, and beggars can't be choosers, I guess. So yeah, Diego, I always find video reference at the very least just to get my basic blocking down. And the further along in the animation I am, the less I refer to the video reference more, because like at this point, getting her landing to look good, it's completely different from the video reference since the guy like keeps on running. Which is essentially, I guess, what this character is intended to do, is to keep on running. But that's where I'm just kind of doing it from my mind and from the knowledge and practice that I have from doing this other times. I am definitely a big proponent of using video reference, and it drives me crazy when people don't use video reference for humanoid characters when they clearly don't have a thorough understanding of body mechanics. It is not a crutch. If anything, it is the exact opposite. And that was something early on in my animation learning. I did not use much video reference. My school didn't really like pound that into our brains. So it wasn't really until I was taking classes with Animate that I got over the whole like, oh, if I'm using video reference, that means I'm not a good animator. So I got over that. And in that class, actually, they wouldn't let us animate until we had video reference. So even when I was doing the acting shots, like on my demo reel with the first clip and the last clip on my demo reel, I was like acting those out myself. I found the audio clip that I wanted to animate to, and I found the character that I wanted to use provided by our school. And I like sat in front of the camera or stood in front of the camera, whichever, and acted out the lines over and over and over again, and really like thought about, oh, what is this character thinking right now? Like, I'm not just saying the line, I'm really trying to be the character and think about their motivation for what they're saying. And I think both of those clips, I had at least 40 different takes of myself acting it out. And usually your best ones are going to be your later ones, especially for dialogue stuff, because you start to like get better at feeling the character and you have the line memorized, so you're not like visibly thinking about like, oh wait, what's the next word that I'm supposed to say? Whereas like with the body mechanic stuff, if you're taking video reference like this for yourself, which I am not athletic enough to jump across a 10-foot gap on a building, probably your first takes are going to be the best, because it's less about acting and more about doing a thing, and you're going to be less tired in the beginning. Okay, what should we do next here? I guess move on to the left arm. Probably be good. I really wanted to make sure her arm kind of hung in the air a little bit behind her. And then speed up on this follow through here. So maybe I want to make sure this is not gonna come forward too quick. I guess that's okay because that's the clavicle, but let's check this guy. Maybe just a smidge. So I definitely, this is bad right here. I don't like this because her arms are almost a perfect mirror of each other. That's not something I'm gonna have in the end, but I'm doing the right arm first and making it the way I like, and then I'll address the left arm and probably fix it on that. Whoops. So I want this arm to stay back just a little bit, but I don't want the curve to be completely flat. And honestly, it's probably... Well, actually, his arms, wow, when I look at this, his arms go out quite far behind them. But, you know, if we looked at these guys from top down, they're probably back and out a little more, because this is pretty hard to do. I don't know, maybe. I guess if you're flexible enough, that works out okay. Also, we're not trying to be perfectly realistic with this character, so whatever. Up it is! Oops. Let's check this curve here. We want her. Oh my god, how did this happen, guys? Why is her arm so... Oof. I guess it is because I used the gimbal control, huh? Because it's like right here. When the arm gets to this point, I like the direction that Y rotates in, but then it messes up the X and the Z, so blah. Oh, weird. Oh. Ah! What's happening? That's what I want. Okay. I wanted her arm to hang out in front of her just a little bit longer. Actually, maybe I don't. I changed my mind. Yeah. In fact, part of me wonders if if her arm should start going back a little sooner. Nah. Cool. Oh my god, it's so wobbly from the front. Why gimbal lock? Why? Alright, I'm gonna fix that later. Kind of like with the feet. I'm gonna wait till we've got everything looking pretty much the way we want it before I really go into fixing all that horrible gimbal lock stuff. But let's throw our motion trail back on here and see if this looks any better. Oh, right. I think we had the motion trail. I just turned it off, didn't I? Ah, well. It's a little better. I still don't really like this squiggly bit right here. As you can see, this is less than ideal. The fact that her wrist kind of doesn't really move for a couple frames. It goes forward and then back, and then it just sort of like, it almost looks like she's pivoting on her wrist, like her wrist is stuck in space, and that's just a coincidence of the FK because I'm not animating this in IK. So that's something I'm going to want to fix and make this curve look a little nicer, but I'll wait to do that until we get the other arm looking a little more decent. Like, that's not terrible, honestly, for not having gone in and really fixed the gimbal yet. This little curve at the end is pretty nice. Actually, that's not too bad. Yeah. Well, that one worked out all right. Cool. Let's see what her other wrist is looking like right now. If I can... Oh god, what did I do? Oh. Yeah, see, that's no bueno here. Wah. Alright, so I'm just going to remove that motion trail for now. And the other thing I'm going to do is take a quick little break, because I've been sitting in this chair for 2 hours and I need to get up, stand up and stretch and get some more water because I'm all out. So, let me... I still didn't make myself a title card for this. So I'll just do my silly little, here's my Google Doc that I typed out last stream. So yeah, I'll probably be back in like 5 minutes or less, guys. I will see you shortly. Hello, I am back. Alright, get this sucker out of here. Alright, Missy, what are we gonna do with you? Starters, let's check out and see what our clavicle control is doing. Ooh, that's not pretty. Yeah, we can probably fix that. See, is this forward? Ah, yes, okay. Forward and back. Let's have you go back a little bit sooner, since we want the clavicles to be driving the shoulders. And then forward. Probably a little bit later there. And then we'll have the clavicles get into place a little sooner than shoulders. You know, one thing I realized I'd like to do here maybe is, I guess I kind of done it a little bit in the posing, but to give her a little bit more three-dimensionality here and actually have her rotate her chest a bit. Actually want her to rotate the other way though, because, you know, if you think about like walking and running and with your chest rotating towards the leg that's in front, it'll be a little bit rotated towards the foot that's planting here. But then, let's see, up, while she's up in the air, it should be pretty square on, so we'll just zero that out there. But if we can really give her this nice twist as she's landing, that will give her a little bit more three-dimensionality. Go into the front view here. I think she might be leaning a little too much on her right foot at this point as well. And that's not too bad, I guess. Whoa, shit, that's right. I forgot her legs are in FK right now, so if I want to change that, we'll have to do that later. Let's also have her rotate sideways a little. What's this guy doing? It almost looks like she is... Did I, like, translate this? Is that what I did? Possibly. Yep, that's what I did. Good job. Let's not do that. Oh, okay. So that's why I did that. It was for her little takeoff pose. But we can bring this back to 0 up here. Be very, very careful with translating an IK spline. It can give you lots of weird results, and if you don't do it right, it's going to be obvious to another animator that it's like, oh, you animated this spine in FK, didn't you? And that's never a thing that you want to be noticeable unless a character is like laying down on the ground. So you can use it for little adjustments like I was doing, but you just want to be careful with not doing too much and making sure the motion still looks pretty good. This is, of course, going to change the path of our arms a bit, too. I do like it when I can use a rig that has different space switching in the shoulders, where either it'll be... Like, you can still have it in FK, but it'll be based on the clavicles or the cog or the world. And so I like to do that just so that I can... you know, make these tweaks and not have the arms move as much as they are. Because, like, they're just following no matter what I do here. And in some cases, that's not what I want. Let's check and see if there is any sort of space switching. Global anim viz. Well. Okay. What? That's weird. What is this? Up arm gimbal top. Up arm gimbal. Oh my god. What? This is weird, guys. So there's two. Oh my god, this whole time was I supposed to be animating from that one? What? Oh, that's annoying. I mean, I don't have a problem with there being parent controls like that in order to fix things. I just wish I had known that was there from the beginning. And I would probably animate this one as like the overarching control and then animate the ones below it whenever I ran into gimbal issues, so that's kind of a bummer that I didn't know that was there before. I'm just gonna turn that off then. Oh yeah, it's over here too. I guess I just wasn't animating on those. I already forgot what I was doing, guys. Was it the arm? The torso? That's right, I was looking at this torso here. Let's have her be a little more... Ooh. See, that's what I'm talking about. It's very touchy. What happens if we make her overshoot a little? Oh, that makes her go back, huh? What? Oh, right. Interesting. Alright. Well, whatever. Sorry, I tried to swallow quietly so that you don't get some weird ASMR stuff getting picked up on the microphone. My apologies if I don't always achieve that. Because I know this microphone can pick up a lot of stuff. It's both a blessing and a curse. Okay, let's go back to working on the arm now that we got a little bit more interest going on in the torso there. And see what we can do with this guy. So we'll take a look at it from the right view first. So this pose is okay for, oh my god, the gimbal. For our arms like being a little offset. But then we want them to come to the back like this a little bit sooner. Oh god, that's right. God damn it. It's so upsetting. Alright, we're just gonna turn this on. So we'll delete this key and we're gonna try and fix this with the gimbal control. So it's good up until here, so we'll save a key there, and then it's fine back here, so we'll save a key there. It's I guess with this gimbal control thing, it's a little bit like working on an animation layer. In fact, I could potentially do that instead of using this, and it would maybe be better for a visual representation of what's going on, because the thing is, like, if I animate this, I can't bake that information down onto the controller above it because this is the child controller. So in a way, it would potentially be better to, like, say, make a new animation, oops, not display layer, new animation layer, and do essentially the same thing I was doing here. Save a key where it's fine, and then save another key where it's fine again, like so, and then when we're in between here, see, now the gimbal has changed for us. But we're probably gonna get a bunch of wobbly, janky crap as soon as I play this back. Yeah. Yeah, that's actually not really good. Okay, so maybe it is better to do that. We'll just delete this layer, don't need you, and go back to animating this gimbal control. This is one of those times where I would animate it the way I think looks pretty good, and then bake it to IK and go in and like delete all the jittery keys in IK and then bake it back to FK. But we don't have that luxury with this character. Oh god. Alright, so let's check that, because like I said, I don't want these arms moving at exactly the same time, so... Oh. Something's going on upstairs. They're maybe a little bit too samey right now. Yeah, I think so. Alright, so I think I'm gonna grab these keys, and we'll just kind of scooch everything. Oh god. And I'll grab these and scooch them one key too. Maybe that'll help. What have I done? It's all jittery. Gosh, see, yeah, now it's like too delayed. Let's take a look at it in perspective view here. Alright, I'm gonna undo that. What I could do is this terrible thing where I turn off my snap to key and then just slightly delay this, but then I'm not gonna have, then I'd have to bake down my animation in order to save that information on the right keys there. How long are you gonna be streaming tonight? That's a good question. Probably at least another hour, I would say. I feel that, you know, somewhere between 3 and 4 hours is pretty good for streams like this, where it gives me enough time to actually make some progress, get into the flow of things, talk to you guys a bit, maybe, you know, talk about certain things that I get asked during the stream, like about video reference and that sort of thing. But these will all be available on my channel. I think it takes like maybe an hour or two before it shows up after the stream, because YouTube has to like process it. Ugh, itchy nose, itchy nose. But certainly by the next day, these will always be available. Oh my gosh. Excuse me. Nose so itchy. All right, well, let's try doing this. Let's try if I just delay the Y a smidge. Oops, forgot to turn my snap key back on. I think that's a little better. Yeah. All right, I said I was gonna break up this motion too, didn't I? I'm such a hypocrite. So her left arm starts down below the right arm as she starts reaching up. So let's have it surpass it. Yeah, there we go. Hey, it worked out. So they're kind of, it's kind of like her right arm is leading the whole time like this. Let's see what happens if we make her left arm follow through a little sooner than the other arm, since her torso is twisting a bit towards her right leg. It would make sense to have her left arm come forward first. And maybe if we do that, we can have a little bit more overlap on her right arm to make this look a little better. Because, like, you know, we're coming to this running pose, and then the thing that would happen after this, right, would be she's going to take a step with her left foot next, which means her right arm is going to come forward and her left arm is going to come backwards. So when you think about the way that it's going to blend into this animation, it would make more sense to have, like, you gotta have overlap on both of her arms, kind of, at least a little bit, but it would make sense to have more overlap coming forward with her left arm, since it's going to be on its way back as soon as she goes into the running animation. In fact, how about we really kind of use that arm as a way to catch her balance. Again, we're gonna have some gimbal stuff that we have to fix here, but let's also make sure her clavicle is doing what we want it to. That is not her clavicle. What is that? Oh, that's the locator. Let's turn those off, shall we? Ah, it is supposed to be off. That's weird. Well, whatever. Let's see. Her arm is still kind of... What I'm trying to go for here is having her arm sort of swing out in front of her before settling back in, but I'm getting this weird stuff happening again with the gimbal. You know, I might end up using some constraints here to make this work better. This isn't great. What's it doing from the front? Ooh. Yeah, that's no bueno. Alright. Like, I don't mind if she has her arm crossover a little bit here. But that was a little too much. Yeah, it's like gonna have this weird, like, popping back here. I might have to do a constraint trick that I learned recently to make this actually look the way that I want it to. But let's find out what happens if I modify this X. Oh, that's icky. It's very, very icky. Yuck, 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 yuck. That is gross. Okay, I think it's time to give in and do this locator constraint trick I was talking about. Now, ideally, I would have written a script for this. I have not gotten to that point yet. So, I mean, I guess I would have wanted to show you guys how it works anyway. But, alright, we're gonna go ahead and create a locator. Well, very big locator there. Let's, scale it. Oops, oh god. Oops, oh my goodness. Fine. That's still too big. Wow. Ah! There. Alright. So, let's see here. We're gonna duplicate both of those. How should I go about this? Alright, so first of all, I do want to actually go and change my key bindings because I did this on my work computer since I was using a lot of constraints. Gotta remember where to do this now. Hotkey editor, there we go. So I'm going to constrain. First of all, I want to double check, make sure Autodesk help, don't care about that. Oops, no, that's not what I meant. And show modeling UI, also don't care about that. Okay, so now let's look for constraints. And we want, how about we just look for orient, constraint. And we don't want options because most of the time I'm going to have the options already set to what I want. Otherwise I'll just like manually click that. But let's do then rigging whoa. That's the same thing, isn't it? Orient constraint, orient constraint. I sure hope so. Let's find out. Yes. And let's do oh, whoops. Okay, actually I meant to make no. Ah, cancel. Ah, no. No. So I think I want point. I think on my work computer I did point to F1. Why did not show up? Oh, because it's one word. Derp. Alright, so F1 for that. Yep. And then we'll do orient. Oh my god, no! That's... Type very, very carefully, apparently. Was it? Will that work? Oh my god! What's happening? Okay, so you... There. Alright. Screw you, Maya. Oh yeah, okay. It did do that for both of those, so they're the same thing, essentially. So let's make sure that actually worked. If we go into constraint, point, F1, orient, F2. Cool. Alright, so what that is going to do for us... Alright, we want maintain offset off. Good, good. And let's double check our orient constraint as well. Good, good, good. Okay. So we want this to be left shoulder. I guess I'll just call it locator. Left elbow locator and left wrist locator. So what we're gonna do here is take this guy and we're gonna do a point and an orient constraint. So now you can see this, oops, this locator is constrained to the shoulder. And then we'll do that with this guy. And this one. And now if we select these and bake them down, I should probably make a button for this too. That would be wise. How about I do that right now? Because I'm going to do a lot of baking. So let me do that first. Windows, preferences, hotkey. So let's double check first what this is assigned to. Oh. Show rigging UI. Yeah, don't care about that. At least I don't think so. Mistakes were made. Bake simulation. So we'll do that one. It's F3. So now and I have it set to where it will only bake what I have selected in the channel box, which is the way I tend to like to work, because otherwise if you have it set to all keyable, then it's going to throw keys on scale and visibility and whatever else, and I prefer to have more control over that. So that's why I'm doing it this way. Oh, okay. Well, for one thing though, we have to go into our options first because I told it to do start end instead of time slider, but all the rest of these should be fine. So now, nope, still didn't work. Okay, fine. Is it because I have to, yeah, I have to do it here first, and now it should work the way I want it to. All right, so basically what this did is this baked down all of the information that I had on the arm into world space onto these controllers or onto these locators. So now I'm just going to delete these constraints, and you can see like, wow, that's really ugly, right? So, oh, you know what else I should do? I probably should parent these guys to each other first. All right. Well, we can just like redo this. So parent, parent. Did that actually save our information? No, it did not. Okay. All right, so we need to do the constraint again. And bake these down. Oops. Yep. Good reminder. Thank you. And let's also throw an Euler filter on there. So now if we rotate this, the other two will follow. All right, so now what we can do And keep in mind, this way of working is you're gonna have like keys on every frame. So it's not a good idea to do this super early on in your process, like when you're just in the blocking stage, because then you're gonna have this mess of keys that you have to deal with, and it's gonna look a lot like mocap data. But the way I like to work with mocap data is just kind of layering on top of itself. So it's interesting. I used to hate baking down keys on every frame before I messed around with doing mocap cleanup. And then now I kind of like working with both ways, because when you have all this data on here, it's really easy to see where your problems lie. Like you can see these curves are really gross looking, so I'm gonna go in and clean those up. But first of all, let's constrain our arm controls back to these guys. So we'll do point and orient constraint for each of these. And now the arms are going to be driven by the locators. Ta-da! But we should have all of our data the way that it was before. Yep, so it all looks fine. So now what I can do is go in here and clean up these keys. Now, granted, I can still have gimbal lock issues with the locators, but I think this is rotating in an order that I like. Let's double check that, shall we? X, Y, Z. Yeah, whatever, it's fine. Alright, so for instance, if I go in here and clean up this Y rotation. Ooh, actually, maybe that isn't the way I want it to be. Make these curves look nice. This actually looks okay, the Y rotation. Let's double check. X is not so pretty. Where is the problem here? In these first few frames, I don't have an issue with it jumping that far, but let's take a look at right here is where it gets a little wonky. So what happens if we just remove those? Oh, okay, so that's not very pretty, but let's check Z. Z is also a problem. So if we make both of those clean, you know, this might be an Euler issue here. Yeah. This is upsetting. What happens if I go like this? Nope. Nope, nope, nope. Okay. That's fine then. Let's maybe fix this a little bit. Yeah, I may have like offset it a little too much now. Actually, no, that's okay. Then probably delete this key on X and Z here. And maybe this key. Oh, whoops. That's deleting our translation too. I'm not sure I want to futz with the translation right now. Cause this shoulder control, I don't actually want to translate on it. I just baked down that data for the sake of having the locator in the right space. So if we delete these keys here, that should make it a little smoother. And then as the arm is settling in here, can make this work a little better. Still really abrupt. And this might just be an issue of our animation not being super long. So we might just not make this arm come as far forward, or it needs to happen a little bit sooner, or maybe a little bit of both. Still doing this rotation I don't like. Wait, actually that's okay. She can rotate her arm in like that. That'd be alright. I think the issue is just the elbow now needs to be a little bit more delayed. Ooh, that's no good. We should not... Oh, wait. Yeah, this is gonna be tricky because her elbow... I really only wanted to animate on the Y, but... Shoot. You know, what I should have done with her elbow is... I guess I still can do this. I should have only constrained the Y orientation. Or... I don't actually know. Whatever. I can just like go through and blow away the keys when I bake it back down. Hehe. You know, honestly, I probably don't even need to futz with... Yeah. I really don't even need these other two locators now that I think about it. So we're just gonna delete the constraints on these because it's like they're already a parent of the shoulder anyway. And I'm not trying to change the hierarchy here. So we're just gonna delete those keys or delete those constraints. Let's go back and find... Okay, fine. This is just... The rig is too much stuff. Go. And we'll just get rid of those guys. They don't really matter. Sorry, no offense, little locators. But that way we don't have to like bake down a whole bunch of keys to this because there's only one space that the elbow is rotating in, so it's not that big of a deal. Oh my god, it's just still way too fast. Nerg. I don't know what to do with you, Missy. Alright. Maybe we don't get to have as much overlapping animation as I was hoping for. Also, I just like did a whole bunch of stuff in my hotbox that I have no idea what I did. So I think from the side it looks okay. No, actually I take that back. It's still too fast. Yeah, I think this is just one of those situations again where, because we're trying to go into the running animation, I don't want to make the ending too long. So we might just have to tone this back a little bit. This is part of working in the game industry, guys, is learning how to deal with the constraints that you have. Ha ha ha. Granted, this is for a fake game, but you get the point. Yeah, I think we were just trying to do a little too much here. Can maybe get away with a little more than that, though. And now let's see if we can... Oops. Let's turn off our... No, 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 no! That's not what I meant to do! I meant to turn off the mesh so that I don't keep doing that, but where did it go? Where did the mesh... Oh no, what did I do? What did I do, guys? Where's my button to turn off the mesh selection? Where did it go? This is probably something I did with the hotbox and didn't realize it. Fine, whatever. Ah! See? I just want to select the control. Wait, whoa, whoa, whoa! Why did that... Oh, no. Oh. What? Why? Oh, no. Did I break this somehow? Alright, first of all, we're gonna save a new iteration. Oh my god, what did I... What on earth? Huh! Well, this isn't good. What did I do, guys? Oh my god. Holy bejesus. What have I done? Why is everything... Okay, well, let's see what happens if we just reopen the same file first. Maybe it's just a bug. Or maybe I broke something. Huh! Okay, just something buggy, I guess. I don't know. I have no idea what happened, but now I'm back to being able to select the controls again. Yes, panic indeed. Crisis averted, guys. Oh yes, what happened? I don't know. I honestly have not a clue. I do recall that I was like in here trying to select a menu and I was like accidentally doing some gestures as I was doing that, so I probably messed something up, but everything's back to normal, so we're good. And I didn't have to revert to an earlier save because the file that I saved after that happened, that's what I have open now, so that's good news. This, kids, is why we save in iterations in the animation world. Because you never know when you're going to break stuff. Alright, what were we doing? Ah, yes. I guess I didn't have her last keyframe on the right spot, did I? Oh, weird. Well, let's fix that. Oh, that's because I baked it down and I have like an extra keyframe that I'm not intending on animating. Well, let's take care of that. We'll just make our last frame on 29. I'm curious if I've been doing this right. If I have, these frames should match. Oh, so close, guys. I changed something. I can fix it later. I think it's probably her torso. No? What is it? Weird. There's one culprit. And there's another. Well, I'm not too worried about it. It's close enough. If that's not a sign to save my own file right now, I don't know what is. Yes, indeed. That's like, oh man, the number of times that I'll be working in my file and I click something that like makes my program freeze up and I'm like, no, no. And it comes back. I'm like, okay, good reminder to save, because every time that happens, it seems like I haven't saved in 20 or 30 minutes. And I'm always really glad that it didn't actually crash. Are you ever use tool animation like A-Tools Animbot? I assume Animbooth, you mean Animbot? I don't know. I have access to Animbot at work. Really, the only thing I use on that is the motion trail portion of it. The rest of it, like, it seems like anytime I try to use it, it breaks my rigs and stuff. So I'm sure I just need to like gain some better knowledge on how to use it properly. But I am in the process of learning some scripting from the course I mentioned earlier by Richard Lico, where I can just do like some really basic tools for myself. That's really kind of all I need. I'm not a person who needs like a crap load of fancy tools. I just want the character to be able to work the way that I want it to do, which is why the constraint scripting that Lico does is a workflow that I aspire to have, because it's very clean and very simple, and that's all I need. Because I don't like it when I go into the foot controls and you have like ankle roll, ankle pivot, ankle blah, 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 blah. It's like, no, no, no. Just give me a manipulator and let me do what I want with it. And let me change where the foot is rolling from. And that's all I need. Like, what is this? Blend Sam Care Set. Like, what is that? I don't need all that stuff. Go away. Like, just give me rotate XYZ. That's all I need. Well, and translate in some cases. All right, well, that's looking better. Now that we did our little constraint trick, let's see what the front view looks like. It's not great. What can we do to fix this? This also looks a little weird here that her... Oh no. Can we... I think I can just delete this. Nope. Well, fine. That's so weird. I guess we're having gimbal even with the locator that we made. Come on. I guess it's not that bad. It does seem a little weird. I would like her elbow to be pointed a little more like so. Why you gotta be like this? But see, you can already tell with the little bit that I've been doing with the constraint on her left arm. It's not perfect. There's a little bit of a jitter right here. But compared to her right arm, where I haven't done this treatment yet, like, it's really eye-catching to me how much it's jittering through space. So this definitely is a useful trick. I just think I have not fully learned how to use it to the most effectiveness quite yet. And maybe it was because of the rotation order that I put the locator in. Gosh, it's still jittery. It still kind of sucks. Gosh darn it. Wait a second. Wait a second, guys. Did I mess this up? Did I do a big no-no by, like... Oh my god, because we have this other gimbal control underneath it that I animated. What happens if I delete these keys? Is this why I'm having issues? Oh god! No! Why? Ah, I forgot about that control! This is what I'm talking about! The more controls that you have, the more problems you can find. Ah, now what do I do? Okay. Here's what I'm gonna do. We're going to bake down the progress we've made with this locator onto this parent control here. And then I'm going to... Wait a second. So if I bake this information... Hang on. Bake from the locator to the shoulder to save the data we've made. And then how do I get the rotation data from the gimbal arm? This should maybe... Oh, okay. Fuck. What? Oh. It's because I was, for some reason, trying to delete the controller instead of... Let's see. It's almost like I need to get the data from the gimbal control. Alright, let me see if this will work. What if I bake down this information? Don't really care about translate, that's fine. We'll just do this. Which honestly meant I probably didn't need to do a point constraint in the first place, but... Alright, so now we'll go into our hypergraph here, and delete that. And we should still have our arm animation. Yep, looks good. So now, the issue is that I've put keys on this guy. So how do I get the data, strip the data from this control and apply it to the control above it? This is a thinker. If I make another locator, constrain it to that gimbal. Oh my god, because like I know how to take the data from something above in the hierarchy, but I don't know how to pull data from something below an object in the hierarchy. Okay, I wonder if... Alright, let me try this. I'm gonna save this locator since it already has the data on it, but I'm just gonna go ahead and duplicate this. And this is going to be our left shoulder gimbal locator. And, alright, so there's no animation on that guy, but what we're gonna do is constrain it to this controller, but do I want just the orient or do I want everything? I think I want everything, so we'll do, or do I want a parent constraint? I think, all right, I'm gonna do a parent constraint and see if that gets me what I want. Maintain offset. In this case, I do want to maintain offset because I still want it to be pivoting from the shoulder there, assuming this is going to work the way that I want it to. Oh my god, is this actually going to work, you guys? This might actually work. Oh, wait. Yeah. Holy crap. I'm a genius. No, I'm not. I'm really not. But I am pretty happy that I might have figured this out. Alright, so we're gonna try to bake this down. Oops, let's just get this guy, not our shoulder controller. Bake that down. And then delete the constraint. And now, what happens if we control this upper control with this locator? I'm gonna save this again just in case I really screw something up and I can't undo it because I've done too many commands. Alright, so we'll take the gimbal locator and we'll constrain the upper arm to this. Should we do a point and orient constraint? Hello, Sei. Welcome to the stream. I'm just trying to troubleshoot an issue I had with the gimbal rotation on the arm, and I'm trying to pull data from two different controls and put them on one, and that's basically the gist of what I'm trying to do here. We have entered a very technical part of the stream. Okay, so I want to drive the shoulder control. All right, and yeah, so if I do this and I say, I think I probably want to maintain my offset, because like what happens if I, all right, I didn't break anything. So if this is working as I expected, it's gonna seem messed up until yes. So right here, it's messed up because what we need to do is now go in and delete the animation on this gimbal control. And now it should look how we had it. Yes! We got it, guys. We figured it out. Now that we have the actual data of what's going on, let's see what happens if we bake this information down onto the top controller here. Or I guess we could animate with this. Yeah. Okay, so we can animate this controller now. Which means I don't need my other locator anymore. We'll just get rid of that guy. And now I should be able to clean up some of this jitter. See, look at that gross jitter that was happening, but we couldn't see it because of the gimbal control that was happening under the hood. All right, let's see what that looks like. All right. Okay. Not bad. I am fairly pleased with the fact that that was our issue. Of course, now I can't... If I wanted to pull her elbows back more, I can't because of this. Oh, wait. Derp. I was thinking that the Z and the X were like way more lined up than they are, but they're not. I can still fix that. So let's also get rid of this key because that looks like a jitter there. Double check our Y. This is also potentially a little awkward here. I might keep this key just because it's our takeoff pose. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not too concerned about... Well, let's see what happens. No, I don't like that. We're gonna leave those there. Sometimes you do want that data, and this might be one of those cases where I do. Oh my gosh, you guys, it's almost 6 o'clock. We've been streaming for 4 hours. Well, I guess not quite, because I got started a little bit late, but... Well, unfortunately, we're not gonna get done today, but we're very close. Like, definitely only one more stream, and it might not be a full 4 hours. Because at this point, all we really need to do is... I want to finesse the landing just a little bit more. Fix the jitter on the right arm. Give it the same treatment that we've been giving the left arm. And animate the hair and her head a little more. Because right now, all of her head animation is just as an effect of following the body. So all that together, I think will probably take... no more than 2 hours, with some of me jabbering away sprinkled in there, because as you guys know already, I can't work and talk at the same time very well. Here I am just scrubbing back and forth again. Now at this point, I almost feel like I can potentially shave a frame or two off the ends. It's like one of those things where you don't really know how much time you need in a animation clip like this until you really get into the polish and see what it looks like there, but yeah, cool. So yeah, now you can see it's really obvious how much, look at that, look at how much the right arm jitters compared to the left arm is nice and smooth. And that's all thanks to our little constraint trick. I love constraints, guys. Oh my god. Such an amazing part of doing 3D animation. Now, granted, 2D animators don't have to use constraints because they can just draw it doing whatever they want it to. So there's that, I guess. But such a cool tool. Anyway, it's probably a good time to start wrapping up the stream. I'll keep it going here for a few more minutes just because it is a little delayed what I say before you guys hear it. So if any of you guys like have any questions or anything before we end the stream in a few minutes, I will let you ask away in chat if you'd like. In the meantime, I think we can delete this guy. Oh, actually, I think we need to remove the constraint from this first. Oh, wait. All right. I need to bake down the shoulder first because I did clean it up based on the locator, but now I need to bake the animation back down to the shoulder control before we delete the constraint. So let's go ahead and do that. It's almost 2 a.m. in England now, but I'm loving this stream. Well, thank you, Tom. Thank you so much for being here the full 4 hours. You were here since minute 1 of my stream. I really appreciate it. If you would like another day, I could start the stream an hour or two earlier, and I still would be able to, like, you know, not get up super early and do some things in the morning. So if you guys would prefer me to start the stream a couple hours earlier, because maybe you're in Europe or somewhere else, or even on the East Coast, it's a little late right now, I guess. Yeah, let me know. But thanks so much, everyone, for joining me. This has been really fun once again. It's a good way for me to get some practice too, learning how to apply some tools I've been checking out to rigs that are less than ideal, and gaining skills with figuring out how to make it do what I want it to do. So it's been educational for me as well. And it's a lot more fun when I have people hanging out to chat with. So thanks for sticking around. So now we can delete this constraint. All right, let's just take a look at where we're at before we end things. Turn off the locator so we don't have to see those. Ah, why can I never find the things? There we go. All right, yeah, once we get that red arm cleaned up a bit so it's not jittering, it's coming along. Cool. Sweet, guys. Well, thanks again for hanging out with me, and I look forward to doing this again soon. It might not be till next weekend, but I do actually have Monday off this week just because we delivered a pretty big milestone at work recently, and so they're giving us the day off. So I might decide that Monday would be a good time to finish up this animation. So, but just like, you know, double check on my channel, and I try to give at least 24 hours in advance where I schedule this stream on my channel so you know whether or not that's going to happen. Anyway, thanks so much, guys, for joining me, and I'll see you next time.